I was sent to prison in March of 1975, a 3-year sentence for
How many
causing
different
damage.
nicks have you been into, Ronnie?
I reckon it must be about
Wow.
a dozen different ones, because you can be in quite a number of different prisons on one prison sentence.
Especially if it's a 10-year, because you go down in kind of their rating of how dangerous you are, don't you? And then you get moved to semi-open and that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, that's right. You end up. Our trial was in Sheffield, and so the prison I went to was Leeds. I'd already been in Leeds on remand. They treated me as a Category A prisoner, and I was put in this top security cell. And the only reason they did it really was because they had this policy of wanting to keep the Category A cells full. There was probably about 8 of these Category A cells, and that were all super secure. There were extra bars, the walls were extra thick. The furniture in the cells was made of cardboard. It was very tough cardboard, in case one of these highly dangerous Category A prisoners used the furniture to attack one of the prison officers. So it was all made of cardboard. It was very strong, though. I was able to do step-ups on the cardboard chair.
Although on that note, though,
Yes.
I can kind of understand from like the prison's perspective. I would want to keep someone like yourself for as long as possible in a Category A place as well, because you're preventing an absolute psychopath from coming in. You're not going to be any real trouble.
Basically, because I had a long sentence and they had an empty Category A cell, they put me in it because the idea was it kind of provides employment, because wherever you go, when you're on Category A, wherever you go, you have to have like 3 prison officers with you. If I wanted to go to the toilet, I had 3. I mean, thankfully, they didn't actually come in the toilet with me, but they stay outside. And then when you go on exercise, you have it in this special compound with a really high fence with barbed wire on the top. And then outside, there's prison officers patrolling with German Shepherd dogs. And then you walk round and round this compound for half an hour with other Category A prisoners, some of whom are kind of highly dangerous, pretty much psychopaths, like some of them.
When you think back, were you actually genuinely scared?
There was one guy, and it was quite a well-known case. It was on a Christmas Eve. He was walking along, and he saw another guy, an elderly guy, and he just killed this elderly guy, but he was a retired school teacher.
Wow.
And I said to him, I was walking around with him, and I said to him, "Why did you kill that guy, that retired school teacher?" And he said, "Because he was there." And I thought, shit, I'm here. What if you think so?
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
there.
If it really does boil down to something.
I was in a cell once with this guy who was trying to set the plastic lights on fire. The kind of cover for the lights.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he was trying to do that all night, and so I didn't get a wink of sleep, as you can imagine. And that was a bit nightmarish. But generally speaking, I never felt too bad about things.
No.
I made friends with the lifers quite a lot because they tended to be a bit more stable as people. I learned quite a lot from them. The idea that they've got to have these kind of psych evaluations every now and again, and they were really put out by it because they were trying to second guess what they were going to be asked, and then they would be almost like we walk around the exercise yard trying to say, well, say if they ask me this, what should I say? That kind of thing. It's a little bit like Shawshank Redemption, really.
That's it. Yeah, they get assessed, don't they, every so often as to whether they're going to be released. Because the recommended term for a prisoner serving life is a minimum term. That's the very soonest they can be released, but very often they don't get released on that day.
They kind of put a foot wrong, and you can put yourself back 2 or 3 years. So.
Oh, absolutely.